Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Welcome to another episode of the Human Network Podcast. This is our first video episode for the Human Network Podcast. Right now, we are recording on our phone per usual and another phone for our video content. And this is also my first introduction for the Human Network Podcast. Tanner's behind the camera right now, making sure that all the quality is looking okay and that it's recording properly. And he's going to come over here in a minute. And he's going to introduce you to our wall and explain what this means to us. For all those who are listening on audio right now, you can check out this video on YouTube, and also feel free to check out our TikTok, where we'll be posting TikToks on there, small reels and things to hopefully generate some more views. So Tanner, if you want to come on over here and talk to us about the wall.
Yeah, everything looks good. So what I really want to talk to everybody about is the wall that we got over here. So this wall has items from our guests that have come on. Not every guest has brought an item, and that's okay because it's not a requirement. But eventually this wall will be the entire background for our video, so the angles will change and the room will change. We've kind of talked about some stuff before, but this is from our most recent guest. This is a Hennessy bottle. And this is from Fooly, aka Hennyman. So you can see he actually brought the Henny. This is from Shawn Kay, who did the Metro Icon podcast. This is from Haley, who was on our first, I think, Rideshare Chronicles podcast.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yep. And then this one was from
Jonathan.
I think Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan, who was the entomologist, this studying insects and things like that. Emily, who was one of our first guests, brought these stickers, and we bought this board and put these stickers on there. And we got a sticker from another guest, Derian, later on, and threw that on there. So if anybody else brings stickers, that'll go on here. Derian also brought a shirt. So this is Derian Ramsey. If you're watching this, you can check out his Instagram page at Derian Does Music Stuff. Great local artist. We love him. And then this was his Metro Icon podcast ticket that we kept as memorabilia. This disc golf disc. And then this one, which that's a place marker.
Yeah.
It's where you throw your disc. And this note is all from Emily as well. So she brought the most items. She kind of helped really get our wall started, and we really appreciate that. This is from Z, and it's a plane because he came here from the UK, so he flew across the pond. It kind of represents that. This is from Sam. Man, what an inspiring podcast that was. That was great. So if you haven't heard that, check that out. And this is from KeLoLo from her 21st birthday, and she had a great time on her birthday. So these are all the things that we've got so far. This wall means a ton to us. Just the fact that our guests would even bring anything to give to us, right?
Yeah.
And we look forward to filling the wall up and changing the angle up so this is the entire background. And eventually a TV will be over here too, which we do have. We just don't have set up right now.
So one of the biggest things too about the wall is to get people asking questions and stuff. Like the biggest purpose of what we're doing here at the Human Network Podcast, and one of the things that I like to tell some of our guests whenever they come on is that we're networking. We're creating a web of people that can interact and communicate with people to, kind of like how Facebook started out, but through like a podcast format where you can really get to know somebody. We do hour to hour and a half long podcasts and interviews to really, we think that long form podcasts are something that you can really get to know somebody. Like for instance, like the Joe Rogan podcast and how he has people come on, and you really get to see Mike Tyson have a 3-hour conversation with Joe Rogan, and that we think that that's something that's important. Yeah. But we really want to do it for the people who are regular everyday people. That if they're a musician, they can put their music up here. They can put their music on the podcast. They can get the shout out. They can get a highlight, and people can see their music, see what their music's about, see if they want to do collaborations with them. If they're an artist, maybe somebody can do collaborations with them or buy their art. Like Emily. Emily's a fantastic artist.
Yeah, you can find her art on Etsy, and I don't have her link off the top of my head, but we'll put some links in the description.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Emily is very talented, and her stuff is it's a little gruesome, it's gory, but it's amazing.
It pushes the limits.
It definitely pushes the limits.
We really like.
Yeah, and we're like, I mean, we have a bleeding heart on one of our discs. I mean, it's amazing. So this is really the place where we're really taking the podcast, and you know, we're not gonna really end it at the Rideshare Chronicles. The Rideshare Chronicles is a really good way for us to network. We meet a lot of people. I think we've talked about this before. Whenever, you know, we've been in cars with millionaires and billionaires. We've been
meth dealers.
Meth dealers. We've been in everyday
IT
people,
professionals,
yes.
artists, everybody, people who breed dogs, a lot of different people. And one thing, or I guess not really one thing, I guess one thing I want to talk about with you, and this is going to be kind of redundant for anybody who has listened to, you know, us on Spotify before we've done video, is explain who we are.
Yeah.
What we're doing, which you kind of talked about just now,
Yeah.
and like what we plan to do, a little bit of our history, which was in our first episode. If you would like to listen to that, you can. It's called Meet the Hosts, and you know, you hear a little bit about us. But yeah, I want to talk about how we came up with the idea of this, right? So for first time listeners, through audio or through video, they can hear that.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to go ahead and start there, and then we can kind of go from there.
Okay.
So, for everybody who doesn't know, we kind of started up, well, we've known each other for 14 years, I think, 14 or 15 years.
Yeah.
It's one of my best friends. And right now we do rideshare full time, both of us. With the gas prices, we'll see if that changes.
What was it today? $4.69.
Yeah, $4.69 today.
Cashapp us.
It is June 3rd, 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody sponsor us, please. No, I'm just kidding.
Not really.
But no, so we were doing rideshare, and we both listen to podcasts. I listen to mainly Joe Rogan's podcast, so that's a big inspiration for me. And Jake listens to a lot of other ones like Aubrey Marcus and Danica Patrick, and among others. So shout out to all of them who are inspirations to us to do this kind of thing, and to also push ourselves to do this kind of thing, because this has been a lot more work than we really anticipated. It's been a lot more than just recording audio and putting it out there. We've had to figure out how to do a lot of different things, including like this video recording and storage type stuff on our phones, computers, RSS feeds, Google Analytics, and a lot of other things. And we're really small time, and we're learning a lot of this stuff. And hopefully, you know, as the podcast grows, maybe it'll bring in, you know, some sponsorships or something, and we'll be able to have a team help us with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is one of my goals as we're starting this up. And I'm kind of getting sidetracked here, but one of my goals is to create jobs for people to come on. And, you know, like if we can hire somebody who's a video editor, we're creating a job to me, you know, and things like that. And so, anyways, we were doing rideshare. He talked about wanting to do a podcast with me. You know, he would say, hey, let's just start up a podcast. I wasn't opposed to the idea, but I didn't have an idea, like, I had questions about, like, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to do? Like, how do we get this started?
Yeah, there's a lot of podcasts out there.
Yeah, you know, and as a rideshare driver, I drive around all day. I have a lot of time to think. And so I was thinking, why don't we get some of these passengers on? We meet a lot of really interesting people. I think people would like to hear their stories and hear them out, just everyday people. And I told him about it. He thought it was a good idea. And we talked about it a little bit more. I think we were both kind of hesitant on it. It feels like a really big step. And saying you're going to do one thing is easy, but then actually taking the step to do it for some reason is so difficult for so many people. Mm-hmm. And one day I was just sitting there eating lunch, about to go start work, and I called him up, and we talk almost every day, and I was like, you know what, let's just do a podcast today. Let's just see how it turns out. So I drove over to his house, which was like 40 minutes away from where I was, because Dallas is huge. And we recorded our first episode. We actually didn't release it, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts as well, but again, if it's your first time hearing this, now you know. We didn't release that first episode. We felt like we kind of jumped around on topics a little bit. We felt like it was a little lackluster in its content in general, and its creativeness and its topics and all of that. And so we decided we were gonna record another first episode, and that was the one that we didn't meet the host. So that was our second ever recording. If it sucks, you know, let us know. If any of these suck, let us know. If you think you have ideas for improvements, you can let us know. and we'll take them into consideration. But yeah, so we started recording after that, and we kind of ran into a problem of, if we get guests on to our podcast who want to come talk to us, which I thought was going to be more difficult than it is, but man, people are just throwing themselves at us. It's pretty crazy. We release episodes kind of slowly, just because of our time schedules, but it's been a lot easier to get people than anticipated. Anyways, we kind of ran into this problem of where do we do these interviews at? We don't want to bring people to our homes. We don't. I think doing it in a car is difficult because you have other cars driving by. You have a lot of background noise. So we thought, hey, let's get an office, or let's look into things we can do. Maybe rent a room somewhere, or whatever.
And that was hard.
That was really hard to find a place that would
even accept podcasts.
Yeah, that it would accept podcasts and be reasonable in the rate as well.
Yeah, we straight up got denied from renting from like 3 or 4 offices. I think it was like 2 or 3 probably. Yeah. But they were just like, "Oh, you're doing a podcast? No, we don't want that here."
I forgot about that. Yeah, they were denying us on the spot, just on the phone. There was a lot of places I filled out forms for, and I got calls. I remember one call I got. The guy was like, "Yeah, it's a 500 square foot room or something like that, maybe 200 square feet, $2,300 a month." And I was on the phone like, 23. I was like, that's a little out of our price range, man.
Yeah.
And so actually we were supposed. So I don't know if we've told all of these stories in depth before. So this might be a first for even audio listeners as well.
Yeah, I think so.
People who did listen to the first one, but. We got I guess you would call it a showing at a place in.
They didn't show up.
It was in like Carrollton.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so.
Mom's old tower.
Yeah, we showed up, and we were supposed to be there. I don't know what it was, like 11 or 9 or something like that. We get there, and we're waiting. We're at the office we're supposed to be at, and nobody's showing up. Man, we're there for like an hour.
Yeah.
And nobody has showed up, and we don't want to leave.
We're a little desperate because we can't find something that good.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this place was like a closet that we were supposed to be looking at. It was smaller than what we have now, no windows, nothing. And no one ever showed up. And this lady next door eventually comes out and is like, "Hey, are you here looking for so-and-so?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Yeah, they got let go yesterday." And we were like, "Are you serious?"
And of course they're not going to follow up with us.
Yeah, and so that was the only person who had any information on us even being there. And so I think I called another number, like a corporate office down in Houston or something for that property management.
Yeah.
And they.
It's Corpus Christi.
It was Corpus Christi. Yeah. They tried calling us later, but at that point we had gotten the office that we're in now. And so the way that we got the office that we're in now, we left that building. We were like, "Shit, man, we really need to get a place because we've started this podcast. We really want to continue. We want to get some people on."
We already had like. Yeah. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's completely lost my train of thought.
So I found the place that we're in now online somewhere. I made a call. The guy answered. I was like, "Hey, I see this room available. These are the prices." He's like, "Yeah, that's right." I was like, "When can I come see him?" He's like, "You can come by today." I was like, "Can I come by in 30 minutes?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, we'll be there." So he hopped in my car and we took off, man. And we came into downtown Dallas. It's kind of where we are now. And we talked to the owner. He's a really nice guy. I don't want to give too much of his information away.
And the location of our office.
Yeah, that too. And he was a really nice guy. And so we decided that we were going to rent this place out. And we had a couple options on rooms to rent. We went with one that had a window because we wanted guests to kind of feel like it was a little more open. We liked the natural light as well.
The one without the window is kind of, I don't know, it just kind of feels like you're being closed in there, you know, and we typically...
It wasn't a bad room.
It wasn't a bad room, but we'll typically have the guests sit like on this side, which is, for those that are listening, is on the side that's facing the window. And so just so they can feel a little bit more, they can see a tree or some homeless people walking around.
Yeah, most of the window is a tree, so that's exciting. And if anybody's listening or watching this, if you want to see more of The Office, you can. To tell you guys the truth, there's not much in here right now. On the other side of the camera, there's a chair, a TV, a vacuum, because we have a rug and we try to keep it clean in here. A little bit of trash on the floor, because setting up this video, I'm gonna let everybody know,
was incredibly frustrating.
It was really frustrating. So if you've if you're watching it and you've made it this far and watching the end, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for participating with us, man.
Yeah.
It means a lot to us, and I think it means a lot to our guests because people. They want to put their stuff out there, People want to be noticed, and what you notice as a rideshare driver is that people actually do enjoy talking. They want to get to know people. They want to network. They want people to know about their lives, and that's really something that we're offering here. And it's not everybody. Most of the time, people want to be heard, and most of the time when you get a rideshare passenger, they don't really talk, and that's okay. We're just listening to music and chilling. It's not awkward. Some people like to think it's awkward. It's not awkward. It's not. Like, it's not awkward for us. It might be awkward for you. It's not awkward for us.
Yeah, and don't think it's awkward for us because we've done this a lot.
We do like 25 of them a day.
Yeah. So I've done 3,700 rides.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of quiet conversations and a lot of full on.
I've
talk until the door opens.
I've had women. I've had a woman get in my car and she told me that she's recently divorced, like very fresh within the past week, and she's crying and weeping in my back seat and just venting to me. And it happens like that. It's a part of the whole process.
I'm not going to say we're therapists, but we do hear people out. A lot of times rideshare drivers are kind of like a shoulder to lean on, and the passengers are too. I've had passengers tell me that their driver just unloaded on them, because we're regular people too. We go through a lot. Just real quick, I'm going to check the camera and make sure that everything actually still looks good.
Also,
because we're like 15 minutes in.
Also,
we're still recording. 16 minutes. Yeah, we also have a book for our guests. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So our guests that come on, they also have the option of signing our guest book. This was my girlfriend's idea. You want to show them that?
So I'm not going to open it up because
it's private.
It's private. We're not going to show this to just about anybody.
Yeah.
With the permission of our guests, maybe in the future, we might ask if this is something that we release, but that's probably going to be some content that's going to be, what is it called?
Kind of personalized for guests only, only's eyes to see.
But we really want this to be something that, we can look back on and we can reflect. And the guests that do come on, they can see this, they can open up this book and they can read through it and they can see all the people that have come in. And we've had some touching people write in this book, or some touching things written in this book. We've had another language that doesn't even exist, except it's known by one man writing this book. It's a really interesting thing, and it means a lot to us too, because we get the thoughts on paper, we get the thoughts recorded, and then we get some intimate thoughts in here. So this means a lot to us. This book does.
So that's kind of what we got going on. What else I'd like to talk about to you, and this can lead to some brainstorming, but also for people to hear, is our future for the podcast. What we want going on. So number one, we want video. That is our goal right now. So this is our first ever video. The quality's probably not going to be the best. There's a little bit of an echo. We've done a lot of testing to try to get this video set up accordingly and get an angle that we felt was decent and where an echo wasn't too bad. So we have that set up. And one thing I'd like to mention that I think this also goes with the future of the podcast. We want to start a Patreon. So if anybody does want to support this podcast in the future, eventually we're hoping to have a Patreon, and there will be stuff on there like we take notes during podcasts. We'll have pictures of our notes that we take and write. He draws a lot. Mine looks very plain. It's not as fun, but I think it's funny because you can see our different styles. I'm a little more analytical, a little more logical. He's a lot more creative than I am.
A lot. Wow, thank you.
And so we got that going on. The Patreon. A lot of these recordings that we tested will be on there. Some of them were like 1, 2, 3 seconds long. Some of them were like a minute long of us just goofing around trying to get these recordings and being frustrated as all shit with this. We'd like to have a Patreon. We want video. We want to get more podcasts out. We really want to get our TikTok going, which is where this video starts coming in and coming into play a lot more. And like he said, the Rideshare Chronicles won't last forever. So if that's kind of the primary thing you're looking forward to, I hate to break it to you, but that will probably end at some point. I don't know about anytime soon. I mean, with the gas prices, maybe soon.
Yeah, but I think that even with the gas prices high, like I'm looking to get another full-time job just to kind of like Because I'm paying $60 a day for gas.
Yeah.
It's really expensive.
It's $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
In gas alone.
And so
for a regular person.
So what I'm thinking about is just getting like a regular full-time job. I'll still do rideshare on the weekends to make that extra money. It's still worth it. I mean, even then, and we'll still be pulling people in. I wouldn't doubt that we'd be doing this for the next 5 years with the Rideshare Chronicles in particular.
Yeah.
For me, some of the things that I feel like we have lined up in terms of like segments and stuff is I'm getting married to a girl who's Filipina. She's from the Philippines. She lives in the Philippines. She's coming over to the United States.
Straight from the source.
Straight from the source, man. Fresh off the boat. But her name's Cindy. She's going to be coming over here. And, we're going to have segments where, whenever we go international, I've been to the Philippines once. I was there for 30 days. I plan to have some podcasts with them, kind of pick their brain, see what life is like over there in the Philippines, give you guys a little bit of an understanding of their culture versus our culture, and hopefully teach some people how to appreciate some things, because I've definitely learned how to appreciate the place where I'm from, especially with, for example, just having Sam on our podcast and kind of teaching us that we're just spoiled Americans and we're crybabies and we need to pull our pants up and get to work. And
we have more opportunities than almost anybody in the entire world.
Yeah, and I mean, like as bad as this nation can be, there's a lot of blessing here. But yeah, that's one of the directions that I would like to take the podcast.
I'd like to
in terms of segment.
on that real quick. Just traveling in general. Like if we could travel together and interview people that we meet on our travels, that'd be cool. If we went on say like a cruise, right? Because I want to do a cruise for my anniversary.
Do a podcast
with
on the
my
cruise.
girlfriend. Yeah, find somebody and do a podcast. Like take my equipment. Maybe him and his girlfriend go with me, and we could do a podcast together. And so things like that.
The main idea is networking. No matter where we go, like for the Rideshare Chronicles in particular, we're networking through rideshare, through the rest of our. He's going to go to school to be a geologist. I'm going to get my IT. We're going to be interviewing people in those fields, how they got to where they're going, maybe some wisdom that they can share for our listeners. I know that just doing rideshare in general and meeting people, I was inspired to go into the IT field and get into working on the cloud through Amazon Web Services. And I've talked to hundreds of people in IT that have told me that this is maybe not hundreds. Maybe hundreds. I don't know. It's a lot of people. I can't count how many people I've talked to. But still, you talk to a lot of people from all different kind of walks of life, but we plan to do that through everything.
Yeah.
We just met one of our office neighbors the other day. We're hoping that we can have him come on. He's a producer, and he just kind of saw us the other day. Our door was open. Just had a conversation, and he's very successful. He runs multiple businesses. And we want to relay that information to people that are listening, so that maybe they can become inspired to become an entrepreneur and get out of corporate America, where they feel like they're slaving a job and they can't move up or something. Or maybe you're working McDonald's, you don't know what to do with your life. Not knocking on McDonald's, because you can have a good career doing that too. But maybe you're tired of working food service, or you're tired of the field that you're in. And we want to give people. We want to broaden people's horizons, for the most part. So.
And broaden our own.
And our own.
I really like the way you put it. The goal is to network. The goal is to meet people. Right now, we get on kind of everyday people, but I would like to get on celebrities and professionals as well, if we can make those connections and see what kind of wisdom and advice they can even give us, or bestow upon us. Even they've got a lot of knowledge in the world, and so. Yeah, the podcast will hopefully follow our lives and continue on throughout our lives.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
maybe evolve. If podcasts evolve into something else, then we would hopefully evolve into that.
I mean, it's gonna be a part of us. I mean, it's coming with us. Wherever we go and whatever we do, and we want to bring everybody else with us. I've had friends come on. I don't really want to bring too many friends on, just because I don't want that just to be the content, but we are going to have our friends come on to kind of explain the lives that they lived and where they've been, where they've come from. I've known people who've done some really crazy stuff and they made it out the game. But you know,
For real.
for real. And you know, it's just there's a lot of good stuff out there, and a lot of good-hearted people, you know. So
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's gonna be a process for us though, because one thing we're learning is this is it's fucking expensive.
yeah,
Like we need equipment. We obviously don't have microphones. I don't know if he already apologized for any bad audio that may be coming out or if it's echoey, but
yeah, it's definitely echoey.
yeah, if there's an echo, we are sorry. We're, like I said, there's nothing really in this room.
We need furniture.
We're gonna work on getting a couch in here, a little backroom couch, and maybe some like black leather couch, you know. And we'll get some soundboards on the wall. So like these little foam things. We have 3 of these foam things.
2 of them are on the tripod.
Yeah, 2 of them are literally on the tripod. We kind of rigged it up
Yeah.
just to try to help out as much as we could, and then one is here so that when sound echoes off the table, because we're also recording audio on his phone, kind of as a fail-safe, just in case some shit goes wrong. But
Is it still recording? Is this good?
Yeah, it was still recording. And so yeah, but we also want so with the back wall being for guests, our plan is also for these other 2 walls in here, because this is obviously all windows, to be kind of like a vision board for us. And that's kind of cheesy, but you know, one side will be the kind of stuff that he's going for in life. The other side will be the stuff I'm going for in life. We'll have a mini fridge. You know, we want to be able to drink and smoke and hang out with our guests and just really have a good time and network with these people. And like you said, build a network as well. You know, if I know somebody who is a music artist and I know somebody else who's a producer, maybe I can connect them and give somebody an opportunity. That's what we want to do. And that's part of what I was saying earlier with creating jobs for people. Like maybe not directly with us, but I can give somebody else an opportunity. That would be huge to me, because I haven't had a ton of opportunity. And so if I can create something for myself, for us, for my life, I would like to share that with people. And that sounds also really cheesy, but it's just the truth, man. It's who we want to be.
There is one particular segment that I would like to get into, and this is it's really up in the air right now, and I don't know when it's gonna be able to be a thing. But you know, we both grew up with single mothers. We didn't have a whole lot of help, and so one thing that we want to do is like a type of like charity thing is if we can get, and I've seen some ideas like this from other organizations, but if we get, you know, like we're giving money to single mothers that maybe some of our listeners know, and they sponsor them. They message us. They comment on one of our posts, and they let us know, hey, this woman that we know could use some help. Theo Vaughn actually does this on his podcast, where he'll help out single mothers, because he grew up with a single mom too, and they'll just bless a mother with $1,000 or however much it is. And so thinking about figuring out a way to figure something like that out on its base form would be to whoever's listening, if they want to donate to a particular, you know, whatever it is that we have, if it's Cashapp or whatever it is, if we're asking like for $1 from each listener, if there's 50 listeners, then we bless a mother with $50. It might not be much, but they get $50 for free, no strings attached. You know, maybe it's $5. We ask our listeners to give $5, and we have 50 of them. I'm not good at math, so what is that, 250? We give that to somebody, and that's one of the things that I really, really want to do, because like we keep on saying, like this podcast is about blessing people. It's about putting the spotlight on people, about everyday people. We got all these celebrities and all these people who are talking about our lives when they don't know what it's like to live like this.
They have no idea. They're so detached.
And they're commenting on the things.
Them.
Not all of them, but they're detached from what's really going on here in Middle America, or the middle class, or lower middle, or low class, or you don't make any money. And we really want to highlight that and put that stuff out there to where, you know, we can get some real help. We can get some representation from senators, from from governors, from, you know, like we want to put that out there. And we've actually never talked about that, but if that happens, cool.
Yeah.
You know, like that would be lit.
You know, and I just want to say, like right now, man, this podcast brings in nothing for us. We pay for everything out of pocket for this, and you know, I'm not trying to glorify ourselves in any way, you know, but we really do go out of pocket for this because it's what we want to do. And if nobody believes that, man, we got money order stubs and all kinds of shit for rent on this office, for the tripod, all the equipment that we bought, the tables, the rugs, like everything. We've made $10 on this podcast. We've had two people
$10 in 1 year.
In 1 year since October of last year, and we made $10, which we are so fucking proud of. And one of them was my friend Matt, and then the other one, I don't know who it is. I think it was one of my passengers.
I think he thought it was like a tipping thing.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he thought it was a tip, but it came to the podcast, and that $10 is still in our Cashapp.
Yeah.
Because we're just saving it for more equipment. You know, we don't touch that. And but that's not our goal. Like, money is not our goal.
Yeah.
But in order to support the podcast, eventually we will need something like that. But that's why we want to bless people when that comes in. You know, and the first step is creating good content for you guys that you guys want to hear. You know, so with that being said, this also goes with the future of the podcast. We want interaction from our community. We want to interact with our community. Now, if we grow big enough, that'll be difficult because you can't interact with 1 million people. It's really, really difficult, but we'll do the best we can. And if the podcast does bring in revenue for us, then that gives us more time to spend on the podcast as well, which means a little bit less time in rideshare, and that's where things could transition as well. But hopefully, if the community is big enough, we don't need to do rideshare. Maybe we call it the YouTube Chronicles or something. I don't know if that's taken. If it is, we won't use it, right? But something where maybe we're able to fly people out who have really crazy stories.
That'd be lit.
That'd be really cool. And so these are all just thoughts, right? Like in the air. It's kind of what we're talking about here. So yeah, that's kind of like the beginning of the podcast, how we got it started. That's some of the things that we're looking forward to. We're hoping to get more segments. Not everything will be like the X Chronicles or whatever. It'll have its own segment. Like, there's one we'd like to do. A lot of people will find it, I think, boring, to be honest with you, but I think a few will like it. But if we could read a dictionary and do a segment over some of the words in there, like we've talked about,
I forgot
stuff
about
like that.
We do that.
Like how many people actually just sit down and read the dictionary, And so we just have a few ideas.
Also, too, if you guys have any suggestions, like if y'all want to hear stories from our rideshare careers, we have some pretty crazy stories. Some people had talked to me that I know, that told me that that's kind of what they expected the rideshare Chronicles to be. It's just for us to be, because the first 2 episodes that we had done together, we were sharing stories between each other about some of the things that we had experienced.
Not all of it was rideshare stories, but it might have seemed like it was going in that direction.
And that's not really the direction we wanted to take the rideshare Chronicles. If y'all are interested in a segment where we just tell stories about
5-10 minutes worth of stories.
Yeah, and we have a lot of stories, man. So and they happen pretty frequently. They don't happen as frequently as you might think, but if you're doing 25-30 rides a day, they come and they go. So
yeah. I can usually get at least one story a day.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
So
usually something happens, whether it's the passenger in my vehicle or something that I see on the road. I mean, there's a lot of things out there.
Yeah, SUV flipping 100 times.
Yeah, SUVs flipping, cars on fire, people's brains on the ground. I mean, some really explicit stuff. I mean, it's not a joke. It's real, man. And when you drive around all day, every day, you really see some stuff. And you also see some areas of the city that are kind of rough as well. That's kind of a bit of it there. One thing that I also want to say, and we kind of briefly touched on this earlier, but to anybody that is watching this, has made it this far, to anybody that's listened to our audio ones, to anybody that's been with us from the beginning, or if you're joining now, if you're sticking with us, if you're listening to us, we just want to say that we really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to us. We're just a couple of regular fucking dudes out here just talking about some shit. And we'll continue to do podcasts and just talking to each other as well. I kind of want to do a few more of those. But man, just a huge thank you to those people. I know at least a couple people that have listened to every single episode.
Yeah.
And that really means the world to us, man. Like just that one or two, like those one or two people that talk to us and tell us about what they listened to, if they liked the episode being that's so motivating.
And the constructive criticism too that comes along with that. Because we're not professionals in this. We didn't go to school for this.
No idea what we're doing.
We're literally just throwing a knife in the dark, trying to figure out what we're doing. So anything, whether it's positive or constructive criticism, bring it on. We want to be better. We want to provide good content for you guys. So
and proof of that too is just when he went to the Philippines, we didn't do an episode for like 2 months, and
I should have done one while I was there, but
and that's okay, because it was, you were meeting your girl, and what I thought was really cool, we were getting these emails every week about how many listens and downloads we were getting.
We were still
and
getting
we weren't
listens.
putting out any content at all. We weren't pushing, promoting anything, because this isn't like a full-time thing for us, and we should dedicate more time. But anyways, we were getting these emails with this information, these analytics, and man, I was talking to him, I was like, dude, this is kind of like motivating. It's not a lot, but it's something, and it's showing that people are still listening to us, even though we're not putting out content. And so that was a big time motivator to keep going. And we got Don Fooly on, which I would like to do another podcast with Don Fooly, because I feel like we could have done a better job, to be honest with you. And I'm okay to admit that. I feel like I was a little rusty on the interview. I feel like we had fun.
Yeah.
We talked about a lot of really fun stuff, and I still think it was great meeting him. But I'd like to get I'd like to get everybody on once we get microphones, and just
wrench through.
Yeah, redo everything with better quality for everybody.
Get an update on their lives.
Yeah.
Because we would like to have our previous guests back on and just do like an update episode with them. What's new? What's going on? How are you? How's business? Have you made improvements? Have you failed? Like, if you did fail, how did you improve upon that? If you were successful, what did you do to get there? That's really what we want to. We want to keep up to date with them. I mean, I just had one of our guests, Jonathan, just reached out to me last week. He's checking up on me, seeing if he wants to get together and stuff, and that means a lot to us, because it's a real, authentic relationship that we can get together and we can network with these people and we can keep up with them.
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking for as well. We'd like
it's
to
really hard to keep up with everybody so far.
So
if you're watching this and you've been on and we haven't kept up with you, we're sorry. There's a shit ton of stuff.
Yeah, man. We have one of our guys, Derian. Dude, he goes and does performances like every week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. And he's out there putting out his stuff, working as hard as he can. He's got like 3,000 followers on Instagram, and he's really putting some stuff out there. He's really working hard to get up. We can't even keep up with him.
Yeah.
We're probably going to go see him in the next week or two. But
yeah, we need to.
But it's like it's a part of the whole thing. We come into contact with so many people. Yeah. But we do want to make friends with our listeners, and we want to keep up with them and see what's really happening in their lives, and then we want them to come back on and give us an update. Are they good? Like what's going on? So for sure, it's good.
Yeah, it's still recording. So sorry I keep getting up, but with this being the first one, we're just checking, making sure everything's good. I'm doing this on my phone, so I can't see like if it's still recording or not. So I just need to double check. Another thing that we would like to have happen for the podcast is going live through multiple streaming platforms, whether it be Twitch or YouTube or TikTok or Instagram Live, Facebook Live. And if we could do them all at one time, that'd be fantastic.
Lit. You figure that out. If y'all know how to do that, please help us.
Yeah, reach out to us.
I give you $20.
We don't have $20.
Why you laugh like that?
I'm broke as fuck, bro. I got no fucking money right now. I need to be out there working, man. But yeah, anything else you kind of got right now? I'm kind of thinking and brainstorming here.
Not really much. Even if you want to wrap it up, we're good to wrap it up. I think
one more thing I'd like to mention too was Shawn Kay the Showman, who a showman shows up. He does the Metro Icon competition and Metro Icon podcast. So if you want to check those out on Spotify, I know he has a podcast on Spotify. And the Metro Icon competition, you can find it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Follow it.
Happens in Dallas.
It's in Dallas, and you you can check it out. You can go check out his stuff.
If
man.
you like,
it's like American Idol, a little bit more adult themed, I would say. He has
a little.
He has videos on his Facebook or on the Facebook for I don't know the show, and you can see the past performances, and it was amazing. Like I said in the beginning of this, Derian was on it. He didn't make it to the finals, but man, those everybody on the show was amazing.
Everybody.
The finalists were amazing. So shout out to all you guys. We'd like to try to get some of those people on eventually if we can. We need to reach out to them. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. Check out any of our other podcasts. If this is your first time seeing us and you're seeing us on video, you can find all of our stuff on Spotify. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. You can find it on basically any major platform except for Pandora. We weren't able to get on Pandora, having some issues. So
all major platforms.
What's it? All major platforms. Yeah. So, do you want to talk about each other a little bit before we sign off? Just kind of like the things we like. The main thing we like is Rocket League. So
I was gonna say that
if Psyonix or Epic Games could sponsor us,
we actually our
Thanks,
club
guys.
name. Our club name on Rocket League is the Human Network Podcast. Yep. So whenever we go and compete, it's a marketing tool that we use. And whenever we go and we compete against people in Rocket League, whenever we beat them, it's big on the screen. It goes the Human Network Podcast. Yeah. So it was my idea.
I thought it was a great idea. And so if anybody's listening and found us through Rocket League and you're still listening to us or have even listened to one episode, man, thank you guys so much for actually checking us out. And that again goes with just everybody who's been listening to us, man. It really does mean the world to us. This wasn't our dream growing up. This is just something that we're trying to do.
41 minutes. Yeah, we're just rambling.
Yeah, we're just fucking rambling.
we haven't done a podcast together in so long. There's so much stuff that we want to get out.
I thought it was gonna be like hard to talk to each other, but like, we're just fucking going and going and going and going and going. Like, I don't know, shut the fuck up. It's not like we're talking for 30 minutes straight.
41 minutes straight. So.
Well, me 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I've talked about 15 minutes. Tanner's talked about 30.
Yeah, dude.
Nah, all right.
And I'm usually the more introverted one. It's kind of...
Yeah, we flipped roles a little bit. He, whenever I first met him, he was really introverted, and I was really extroverted. I was really, like, hyper and all, like, I mean, I'm still kind of hyper, but he was really, like, to himself, and he's come out of
so ugly.
He came out of his show a whole lot. What? No.
Yes.
But
I'm still ugly.
He came out of his show a whole lot, and I've kind of come into my show a little bit. And what's cool though is that the podcast kind of made that thing happen even more so for us. Like, it's brought me out of my show a little bit more. It's training us and teaching us how to.
Forces us to be in some different situations.
Yeah, situations that we typically wouldn't be in. I mean, like even going to the Metro Icon competition, going to Darian's shows and stuff like that. That's not our normal. Like, our normal is staying inside, playing Rocket League. For me, I play World of Warcraft, so I'm in there gaming.
And we like to game with people too. If you play Rocket League, we'll
shout out, dude. If you want to play Call of Duty, or I don't play Call of Duty very much, but
I will.
I will.
Yeah, I'll play some shit. I'm not good. If you want to carry me, you can.
You can carry me.
Like Ninja did with Drake. You know what I'm saying?
Did he really?
Yeah. Drake played with Ninja like back when Ninja was like really, really blowing up, man. I mean, he's still fucking huge, but yeah, man. I think they ended up winning a few games and shit, so that was really cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, we really like doing this podcast. We really like having the guests on. I kind of want to keep going, but I don't even know what to talk about, to be honest with you.
I mean, we got a lot of things that we could talk about, man. And the biggest thing is getting this video going for us and going live. On things.
The vision for the room too, like with the desk and everything.
Yeah.
The table.
I don't really want to move the camera.
No, that's fine. We don't have to move the camera
too much.
But basically, right here, like
instead of this table, things are going to change.
Yeah, there's going to be a 4x7?
Yeah, 7.
It's a 4x7 table coming out this way, and 7x4. Is that how that works?
I don't fucking know. If you know shit about that, let us know.
We'll have some chairs. We'll have 2 chairs on this side, 2 chairs on that side. Hopefully, we'll have some actual microphones.
It'll probably be 1 chair on this side starting out, unless we have 2 guests on.
And for those listening to audio, we're talking about there's going to be a table right underneath our hall of, what is it called?
Well, I think that all of this will move again because the TV is going to be at the end of the wall here,
Yeah.
And it'll be connected to HDMI and all that, so if we show anything on it, the camera will pan to it.
Yeah.
We'll have a few different angles. Right now, this is all we got because we got one phone.
Yeah, this is all in.
So all this will go up. We'll do a TV, the 7x4 table, 2 chairs on that side. That's where him and I'll sit. Guest sits over here. They can see the window. Couch on the other wall, which is on that side, and a mini fridge. And the camera will also go that way, so it'll be a straight view at the table. And very similar to Joe Rogan. We get a lot of inspiration from that.
Yeah.
So shout out to Joe. And the other side will just kind of be like maybe a little bit of storage. I'm not sure where the back will be. And yeah, I think that's really it. That's about all we're planning in here for now. We'll get some foam panels on the wall. We have a like a pillar here. It looks like it's an I-beam of some kind. It's probably one of the support pillars in the building, but we could probably mount like the camera onto the wall and do an angle there. So that would be really cool. We got some ideas for this place. I'm hoping that we keep it through next year as well. He's been talking about maybe getting another office, but I like this place as long as the AC works.
The thing is with our landlord, dude, like they're like really trying to like pinch pennies because like they just now, like the AC's on right now, but sometimes they'll have the AC set all the way up to 99 so it never comes on, and it'll be like 78 degrees in here, which 78 degrees isn't bad, but when there's no air flowing, it feels really stagnant. And so we would like to put a fan in here, but then that's...
Use this?
What are you trying to do?
I just want to swipe back up so I can see the time.
We gotta open it. Now we're at 45 minutes. But yeah, so luckily he has the AC on today, and hopefully maybe somebody complained. We're too beta male to complain about things that we want. Hey landlord, please turn on the AC. It's really hot in here. So
I'm just like, let's get an air conditioner, knock the window out, and drain it out the window or something.
Yeah, we're willing to vandalize his building instead of just talking to him.
Not really, if you see this, landlord. I don't want to say your name.
Yeah. He's cool though. We like him. Yeah. We're too.
I like the size of the office.
I
think the office is perfect for the podcast. I think the size is just fantastic. It's not too small. It's not too big. It's just right.
Yeah. What was cool too is that
it's trying really hard.
Whenever Don Fooly came, he brought his girlfriend too, and she was sitting on the side and she was just watching and she was listening, and she even laughed a few times at some of the stuff that we're talking about, and it felt kind of cool. Like, you know, we have an audience, like people actually listening. And
Derian brought his dad.
And he listened, and I think Cammy was here too for that.
Yeah.
So and I think that was pretty cool. But yeah, if you're listening to this and you want to come on and you want to talk to us and you want the spotlight, message us. Message us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We have all the social medias. Let us know that you want to come on to the podcast and that you want to talk to us. You want to put your information out there. We're available to do it, and if we're not available, we'll get to you the next week. I mean, sometimes we have stuff lined up, but for the most part, just hit us up. Let us know.
If you're in Dallas, let us know. If you're not in Dallas, I don't know if we can get you on unless you fly out here.
Yeah.
We can't just fly people out right now, but we don't have that kind of money. So please sponsor us.
Sponsor us.
Please, somebody.
Anybody.
Anybody. Yeah, man. We also I don't want to give away too much information, but
right off of
if you listen to the audio podcasts, so not just the video ones, if you go listen to some of the audio ones on Spotify, one day down the line you might find some things in there that are interesting. That's all I want to say.
What do you mean?
You know, we have some ideas for the podcast as far as, you know.
Go into more detail.
I don't want to, because I want to keep it a secret, you know. And for the people that have seen and actually listened, they'll
I don't know what you're talking about.
They'll know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Here, I'll write it down. Let's see.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the video too. People on video
maybe
too.
in the video. I mean, not if there's a million people watching it. I don't know.
It could be two.
That's a long.
It could be two different things too.
That's true.
Like one for the video and one for the audio, and it just kind of pops up randomly. Like
don't know where it's gonna be.
Nowhere.
You don't have a pen.
I do have a pen.
Stupid as fuck.
What? But yeah. So anyway, you want to wrap up?
Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, guys. if you made it this far, we love you.
I love you.
Yeah, we love you. And yeah, man, hopefully we build a community out of this. And it almost feels like we're doing the first episode over again.
It does.
That's how it feels.
Well, I mean, it's a fresh start. This is a new page for us. And we're going to continue having new pages, continue having new chapters. And you're going to be following us through our lives and through the lives of our guests. So if you like our guests, you like what we're doing, follow us, subscribe. If you want to support us, we have Cashapp. It's at THNpodcast. You can send money there. But yeah.
All of our major social medias are the Human Network Podcast, except for TikTok. But I need to just get on my computer and change that. So, other than that, I think that's about it, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Peace out, guys. Thanks.